Hi dear friends, this is the third class on noun. In this class, we would like to discuss meanings which is supposed to be given by a noun in a sentence. A noun is supposed to give two types of meaning. First is common meaning or general meaning, or another is a specific meaning. Any noun in a sentence is supposed to give two types of meaning. First is the general meaning or common meaning, and another is the individual meaning or particular meaning or a specific meaning. In case of general meaning, when a noun is supposed to express general meaning, we are not allowed to use any type of article with the same noun while expressing general meaning in a sentence. But in case of a specific meaning, when a noun is supposed to express a specific meaning in a sentence, we can use a comma before the noun which is expressing a specific meaning or individual meaning or particular meaning in a sentence. In simple terms, we can say that any noun in a sentence may express either simple meaning or general meaning or a specific meaning or particular meaning. In case of general meaning, their main function is to generalize its expression, but in case of particular meaning, their main motive is to particularize things. So guys, in final discussion we can say that any noun, if it is supposed to express general meaning, is not allowed to use article before it, but in case of a specific meaning, they can take article with it. If I say death is fatal, life is not joyful, cancer is a fatal disease. Here the noun death, life and cancer. Here all types of nouns are supposed to express general meaning. So we cannot use any type of article before their existence, because these nouns are expressing only general meaning. We cannot put article before a common noun or proper noun or any type of noun until it expresses a specific meaning in a sentence. If a noun is expressing a particular meaning or a specific meaning, so we can put article before the noun which is expressing particular meaning. But here these nouns are not expressing any type of a specific meaning in a sentence. They are expressing only general meaning. So in case of expressing general meaning, we cannot use any type of article before these types of noun. We can put article with these types of nouns if they are supposed to express a specific meaning. And in case of a specific meaning, here we would write down some other sentences. Death is fatal. Was fatal. The death of her father was fatal. Now, here we are talking about death, and this death is concerned with the death of her father. So, this death is not expressing any type of general meaning, it is expressing particular meaning, individual meaning, because this death is concerned with the death of her father. So, here this death is expressing a specific meaning, but in case of this sentence, here death is expressing general meaning. So, in case of general meaning, we cannot put article before the noun, but in case of expressing a specific meaning in a sentence, we can put article before the noun. The life of the American people is very glamorous. Here we are talking about the life which is concerned with the life of American people in America. But here we are using life, the word life in general sense, but in case of this sentence, life is expressing particular meaning because it is concerned with the life of American people. But in case of this sentence, life is concerned with all types of man. It is expressing general meaning, but in case of this sentence, the life expresses particular meaning, and this particular meaning is concerned with the life of American people. Next sentence. The cancer of lungs is very dangerous. Here we cannot put article before lungs, because it may be lungs of humans, it may be lungs of animals, it may be lungs of anybody. So, we cannot put here article. But the cancer of lungs, here this fatal disease is concerned with the lungs. So, we can use article before the cancer because here the so called disease is concerned with lungs. We are not talking about the general sense of cancer, we are talking about in a specific sense, and this specific sense is concerned with the cancer of lungs. So, when we talk about a specific meaning of a noun, then we would have to put the article before the noun, but in case of those nouns which are supposed to express general meaning in a sentence, we cannot put article before the noun. So, guys, this is the meaning which may be general meaning and which may be a specific meaning. In case of general meaning, we are not allowed to use article before the noun, and in case of particular meaning, we are allowed to use the article before the noun. There are some places. Now we are talking about places that are supposed to express general meaning and particular meaning. When they are supposed to express general meaning, we cannot use article with them, and if they are supposed to express a specific meaning, particular meaning, then we can put article before the noun, as schools, colleges, hospitals, parliaments, temples, mosques, universities, offices, jails, etc. Places, any type of places, they may be any type of place. If these places are supposed to be visited for their primary purpose, then no article is allowed to be used before the noun. But in case of, if these places are supposed to be visited for a specific purpose, then we can put article before these nouns. For example, if a subject wants to visit a school in order to study, then we cannot put article before school. If a patient is supposed to go to hospital in order to take his or her own treatment, then we cannot put article before the hospital. Parliaments, if MLAs and MPs are supposed to visit parliament in order to make law, we cannot put article before the noun parliament. If devotees are supposed to visit temple just in order to have if devotees are supposed to visit temple for worship, we cannot put article before the noun, because these places are supposed to be constructed for their primary purpose. So in case of primary purpose, we cannot put article before these types of noun. But if these places are supposed to be visited for their secondary purpose or for their specific purpose, then we can use article before these nouns. As if the subject is going to school not to study there, but to deposit fee of their children, of her or his own fee, then we can put article before school. If a person is supposed to visit hospital in order to meet a doctor or in order to have a meeting with the staff of the hospital, then we cannot put then we can put article before the hospital, because here the hospital is visited by a person not for his own primary purpose, but his own secondary purpose, and this secondary purpose is expressing a specific meaning or particular meaning in the sentence. So we can put article before hospital. Parliaments, if a person is going to see parliament, then we can use article before parliament, because the same place is supposed to be visited by a person for his own particular purpose. So we can put article the before parliament. If temple is supposed to be visited by a person in order to paint the temple, in order to clean temple, then we can put article before temple, because here the place is supposed to be visited not for its primary purpose but for its secondary purpose. Universities, if university is supposed to be visited by a person just in order to clean, just in order to have a notice, just in order for enjoyment, then we can put article before universities. If a person is supposed to visit university in order to have a lecture, then we cannot put article before university, because here these places are supposed to be visited for their primary purpose. So, finally, we can say that if these places are supposed to be visited for their primary purpose, we cannot put article before these types of noun. But if these places are supposed to be visited for their specific purpose or their secondary purpose, then we can put article before these types of noun. Finally, we can say that any type of noun, no matter which type of noun is, whether it may be common noun, whether it may be proper noun, abstract noun, any type of noun, if it is expressing its general meaning, then it cannot take any type of article, but it is expressing its secondary meaning or its specific meaning, then an article is necessary to be used before the noun. Often we use article with proper nouns, although proper nouns are supposed not to have any type of article because they are proper in their structure. They do not use any type of article, but when these proper nouns are used in some sentences, they require an article. But here this is to be discussed that if a proper noun is supposed to have an article, please remember this article is not working with the proper noun, but this article is working with the common noun. For example, if I write please remember Taj Mahal, Ganga, Kapil Sharma, these are the proper nouns, and proper nouns are not allowed to have any type of article with them. But here we are using article. Why? Because we are using article and articles are not working with the proper nouns such as Taj Mahal, Ganga and Kapil Sharma, but here article is working with common noun, and this common noun, the Taj Mahal, here article is working with fort, not with Taj Mahal. Here article is working with river, not with proper noun Ganga. Here article is working with show, it is not working with Kapil Sharma. If there is no common noun, in the absence of a common noun, a proper noun may have an article, but the article is not working with proper noun, it is working with common noun, and common noun is hidden. Here is also common noun is hidden. The Ganga, it means we are talking about river. The Kapil Sharma, it means we are talking about Kapil Sharma show. The Gita, the Ramayana, it means we are talking about religious book. Gita, it is a religious book. and the Ramayana is also a religious book. So, it means we are talking about not Ramayana, but we are talking about with religious book. Ramayana itself refers to a religious book. Gita itself refers to a religious book. So, here article is working not with Ramayana and Gita, but with the religious books, and religious book is hidden here. Now, we are going to discuss the use of article a and use of article the. In case of general meaning, we can use article a, specific meaning the. A is indefinite, but the is definite. If a noun is supposed to express its indefinite meaning, we can use article a and before the noun, but it is expressing a definite meaning, we can put article the before the noun. As I write, I met a boy in the garden. I met a boy in the garden. Full stop. Here I am not familiar with the boy. So, we have used article a. Here boy is indefinite, but if we write in the next sentence, we write another sentence, we would have to make the boy definite. I met a boy in the garden. The boy was reading a book. In the first sentence, we make boy indefinite, but in another sentence, we made the boy definite. Why? Because in the first sentence, boy is a common noun. Here, boy is indefinite. Here, no certain which type of boy, we don't know. From where the boy is supposed to come, we don't know. Who is the boy? We don't know. But in the second sentence, we became familiar with the boy. How did I become familiar with the boy? Please remember, here the boy was indefinite, but in the second sentence, the boy become definite. How did the boy become definite in the second sentence? So guys, the boy was reading a book. Here in this sentence, we are not talking about any other boy. We are talking about that boy who came in our garden. As the first sentence is expressing boy in indefinite sense, but in the second sentence is expressing the boy in definite sense, because we are talking about that boy who is reading book in our garden. But in the first sentence we kept the boy indefinite because we don't know about the boy. Now, here we used article a. Here in this sentence we used article a because we are not familiar with book. Here book is indefinite. But if we mention the same book in the third sentence, then we would have to make the book definite because we are talking about that book which a boy is supposed to read sitting in the garden. If I write in the third sentence, the book was very old. Here we make the book definite, because we are talking about only that book which is supposed to be read by the boy sitting in the garden, and the adjective of the book is the book was very old. So here the book become definite, and in the second sentence the book was indefinite. So guys, when we express, we keep a noun in indefinite way, so we use article a, but when our noun becomes definite for us, we use article the before the noun. Her mother is a teacher. Her mother is a teacher. We have used article a. Which type of teacher? We don't know. So we used article a. Here teacher is indefinite. We don't know which type of subject she is supposed to teach to her students. We don't know. So we have used article a. If we are familiar with the subject which is supposed to be read by her mother to her students, then we can use article the, because we are familiar with the subject which is supposed to be read by her mother to her students. So if in case of familiarity, we can use article the in place of article a. If I write her mother is the teacher, now here we would have to mention the subject, the name of the subject, because here we have made teacher definite. Her mother is a teacher, is the teacher of science. His mother is the teacher of, her mother is the teacher of science. Here science is supposed to make the noun teacher definite, but in the absence of the subject, the teacher was indefinite to us. So guys, in the concluding part of this discussion, we can say that any noun, no matter which type of noun, they may be any noun. If they are expressing general meaning, we cannot put article before the noun, but in case of a specific meaning, if a noun is supposed to express a specific meaning, individual meaning, then we can put article before the noun. If in case of places, any place, if a place is supposed to be visited for their primary purpose, we cannot use article before the noun. If any place is supposed to be visited for their secondary purpose, then we can put article before the noun. In case of secondary purpose, it means it is expressing a specific meaning. So we can put article before the noun. Please remember, in case of general meaning, if a place is supposed to be visited for their primary purpose, we cannot put article before the noun, but in case of their secondary purpose, we can put article before the noun.